Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. My name is Aditya and on this channel I talk about Kubernetes, blockchain and software in general. And in today's video, we will be going to take a look on the Pluggable certificate authority in the Hyperledger Fabric. So we already know that Hyperledger Fabric provides a pluggable way of adding certificate authorities, and we can use Fabric CA, CryptoGen or any third-party certificate authority to get the certificates, and then we can bootstrap the network using those certificates. And in today's video, we are going to use CFSSL, which is a Cloudflare certificate authority. So CFSSL is a tool provided by the Cloudflare, which you can use to generate the self-signed certificates, or you can integrate that with your existing certificate authority and issue of the certificates. So it's similar to what we have OpenSSL. You might have used OpenSSL for issuing of the certificates, and it's very much similar to OpenSSL. So without any further ado, let's start the video. So if you see here, right now I'm in my Fabric samples advanced repository, and all the source code you can find in the GitHub repository, whose link is provided in the video description. So I'm in my Fabric samples advanced repository, and let me show you my files, like what all files I have and what all changes I have made. So in order to use the CFSSL, I have already installed the CFSSL. To install the CFSSL, we can simply go to Google and search for the CFSSL official repo, and here you can see that we have the first link, which is coming from the GitHub repository. So if you go to this link, you can easily find the installation steps. Like you can just simply run this go get command and it will install the CFSSL, and you also need this CFSSL JSON. Basically this is a utility tool which will wrap the response in the required format. And if you are a Mac user, you can simply go to brew.sh and you can install the CFSSL from there. And one more way is there to install the CFS. You can if you don't want to do it from this way, what you can do, you can simply run these commands like the wget commands, and this will download the CFSSL, and then you can move this to your /user/local/bin. So I'll put these links into the README so that you can refer the installation steps. And for the Mac OS, like I was telling, that you can basically use the brew.sh. So here you can see you easily get the command to install the CFSSL, and I have already done the installation. So let me just show you my installation. So if I just go to my terminal and if I do CFSSL version, you can see that the installed version is 1.63 and my go version is 1.19. Okay, cool. So now I have made some few changes to the scripts. So one is the network.sh script, where we can now pass the CFSSL as the command line flag, so that our certificate will be issued using that CFSSL tool. And in the previous version of this script, we were having like -CA flag to use the Fabric CA to issue the flag to the certificates, but this time you can now pass the CFSSL as a flag to get the certificate. So here you can see that you can pass this flag to issue up the certificate using the CFSSL. And one more thing I have done, if I just do a find on this word, so here you can see that if you're using the crypto as CFSSL, then I have created a script, and here we are issuing up the certificate with the help of that script. This script will also ensure that you have the required version of CFSSL installed. So I have already made a check here, like when you are choosing the crypto, then it will ensure that your CFSSL binary is installed, and if not, it will point out to you the it will return you an error with the link with the statement saying that you need to install the CFSSL binaries. Yep. So the scripts that I was talking here, which are basically used for generating up the certificates, this is the script. So here inside this organization folder, you can see that we have 3 folders here. First is the CFSSL, and second one is the CryptoGen, and third one is the Fabric CA. So now this repository have 3 ways of issuing up your certificates. So first is the we already had the CryptoGen before these changes, but we also had the Fabric CA. But what I did is I introduced this new folder CFSSL, which basically contains all the files that are required for issuing of the certificates using the Cloudflare SSL tool. And here inside the CFSSL folder, we have one file which is shell script, which is register and enroll.sh. Basically, this is a script which is issuing of the certificates using CFSSL. And what essentially this is doing, this is going to create a CA first, certificate authority, which will have its own key, like the private key and the public key. And using that certificate authority, we will be issuing up the certificate for peer, orderer, admin, and clients as well. And I have created some templates here, and these templates are used for creating up a CSR, which is the certificate signing request, which will have the information when it is issuing of the certificates. So let me just show you the important file first. So the first file that is important is ca-orderer.json, and this is the file which we will be using to create the orderer CA. And this has some of the pre-filled information, like the common name that we are giving as CFSSL orderer CA. Then basically the key, in the key section we have to give the algorithm and the size. So Hyperledger Fabric uses ECDSA algorithm for issuing of the certificates, and the key size is 256 bits. And now the name, basically this contains the certificate subjects. So you can see that the country is India, the state is Delhi, the location is Aero City, and you can give like bunch of other details here, like I have given the organization as CFSSL and the OUS client. And these are some of the host property that I have given. Now using this file, we will be creating up the CA certificate for orderer, and then similarly we have a similar file for peer. So using this file, we will be generating the certificate for the orderer for the peers. Now once this file is ready with us, so we know that in Fabric we need two kind of certificate. One is the signing certificate and another is the TLS certificate. So in this cert signing -config.json, I have provided two different profiles. So if you see this profile section, we have two different profiles. One is the signing profile and another is the TLS profile. And what it does is, for issuing of the signing certificates for the Fabric components like the peer and the orderer, even for the user certificate as well, we are giving the usage as these things, like signing certificate will only be used for signing up the transaction, while the TLS certificate will be used for authentication, like the TLS authentication. So these are the two profiles that I have added here, and these profiles we will be using every time whenever we are issuing up the certificate for any component. So we'll be issuing two type of certificate. First is the signing certificate, another is the TLS certificate. Now we have some other CSR files or the template file. Basically, these are the template files which we will be using when we are issuing up the certificate for the various components. So this file, if you see order-csr-template.json, so this is the CSR file which we will be using while we are generating the order certificates. So here I have given the common name as some template variable, and this value will be populated at the runtime when we will be running up the script. So these values will be populated here. And similarly for the peer also, we have the similar structure, but just that we have kept the segregation for order and peer. And in the runtime, we will be substituting the value of common name and the host here. The same goes for admin certificates. Like when we are generating up the admin certificates, we are giving the common name as the runtime value. And here the important thing is that OU should be your admin here in this case. Okay, and in case of orderer, the OU needs to be orderer, and in case of peer, the OU should be your peer. So these properties you have to make sure that you are passing the OUs as right, as the correct value. And then for the client CSR, the client certificates, we are passing the OUS client, and again this common name and the host property will be populated at the runtime. So now let's do one thing. Let's quickly run this script. So let me make you just walk you through this script at a high level. And so basically this script has a couple of functions which we are using to issue up the certificates. Like one is the function for issuing of the peer certificate, second one is for generating of the order certificate, third is for generating of the user certificate, like the admin user or the some client user, and then we have some helper method which we are internally calling when we are generating up the peer certificates. So yep, and I think, yeah, if you will go through the script, so the important part is here where we are checking if basically we have the CS certificate already present, and if the CA key is not present, then we are basically bootstrapping the CA for to get a new key pair, like the new public and the private key. So here you can see we are basically initializing of the CA using this CA-peer.json, and basically this will create the certificate for the peer CA, and then we are basically just following up the structure, like we are just basically following up what the folder structure we get when we use the Fabric CA, so that we don't have to modify the other scripts when we are generating a channel, or when we are basically deploying up the transaction or deploying up the chain code. So we don't have to modify all those files. That's why I have kept the structure as same, so that my other scripts work as usual, as they're supposed to work. So after this part, like when we already have the CS key present, then we are checking if the certificate that we are asking is we are generating for peer, then basically this function will be called, and we will generate the peer certificate. But if we are requesting for some admin certificate, then basically this function will get called, and at the end we are removing all the CSR file that got generated as the part of issuing of this certificate. So similar kind of approach is there in the order certificate as well, where we are basically trying to create some of the folders. Then we are basically checking if the CA is present for the ordering organization, and then basically we are creating up the required certificates. And then similarly we are generating the order certificates and the user certificate for that order organization. So let's do one thing. Let's quickly run this application, and let's start the network. So I'll do network up, and this will basically create the channel as well. And what I have done here is, let me just collapse this. So what I have done is I am basically doing the network up, and let me just zoom in. Yeah, so, and I'm just doing a create channel operation as well. And remember, this time we are going to use the CFSSL as our CA for issuing of the certificate, and then the channel name that we are going to create is my CC. Instead of my CC, let's keep it as my channel, right? So yeah, let's create the my channel, and basically this will start generating up the certificate for us. So here you see we are getting some of the information message that it is generating up the certificates using our utility, the CFSSL tool. So these are those certificates. Like this time it is creating up the certificate for the order, and then our network got started out, and here we can see that order started to join the channel. So we can see that order successfully joined the channel, and after that peer also started to join the channel. So peer also joined the channel, and we can see that successfully join request was successful. Then similarly the other peer, peer 0 of org 2 also got joined the channel, and then the anchor peer update happened, and it also happened successfully. Like anchor peer for org1 MSP was done, and similarly for anchor peer for org2 MSP was also joined. And if we do the docker ps, we should be able to see that all the containers are up and running healthy fine. Let's do one more thing. Let's go here and let's see the certificate that are generated. So if you see here inside the peer organization folder, we have two folders. One is for the org1 and second one is for the org2. And here inside this users folder, again we are generating the admin certificate. This is defined in the network.sh file. Let me show you the network.sh file. So here you can see that first function that we are calling is the peer cert, and basically what type of values we are providing I have given in the comment form. So this is the function name, and the second value is the cert type, like for which user we want to create the certificate. So this time we are going to create the certificate for the peer, and this is the common name, the name for which the certificate will be issued, and this is the org name. You can see these comments here. And similarly, at the second statement, we are creating up the admin certificate, and again the common name is admin@org1.example.com, and the certificate is issued for org1 admin. Similarly, we are generating the org2 credentials, and we are generating the peer credential like peer0 org2.example.com, and similarly the admin for org2. So here you can see that we are passing the organization as org2. Now for the order cert, so for the order cert, we are calling this order cert function, and here we are giving the cert type as order, and then this is the common name that we are passing. And similarly for the admin certificate, for order admin certificate, we are passing the cert type as admin, and then this is the common name for which the certificate will be issued. So let's go and see all the certificates here. So if I go to peer certificate, inside peer we have two types of certificate. One is the signing certificate, and second one is the TLS certificate. So inside the signing certificate, we can see that we have a signed cert cert.pem file, and if I just copy this path, and basically if we just decode the content of this certificate, we will be seeing that this basically the issuer is our fabric, our the CFSSL CA. So let me just run the open SSL command. And I can do hyphen text. Okay, I think I need to update the path. Yep, so this is the right path. And here, if we see that these are the issuer, like so our issuer has these properties that we saw in the configuration file as well. Like the common name was India, the state was Delhi, the location was Aerocity, and the organization was CFSSL, and the OU we had that was Fabric. And this certificate was issued to this particular identity, and here we can see that the common name is peer0.org1.example.com, and the OU is peer. So these properties we can verify, and we can say that this certificate was issued for peer, and this is the identity. And similarly, we can go and check the CA certificate as well, like the CA certificate, using which all these other certificates are issued. So this is the what you say. This is the certificate authorities certificate. And if let me just copy the path, and let's do OpenSSL again. OpenSSL x509 -e, and here let's the text, and again I have to change the path. Okay, and here we can see that the issuer properties would be exactly same what we provided in the basically the CAs in the peer CA configuration file or the CSL file. So if you see the subjects here, and let me open that peer CA file. So if you see here, these are the host names that we or the subject we provided. Like you can see that these are all the details that we provided, and the common name was CFSSL peer-CA. So we can see that this is the common name here. So, and let's go and see the admin certificate once, and then we can check the peer certificate, or let's go and check the peer TLS certificate, because we already checked the signing certificate. Let's go and check the TLS certificate. So this is the TLS certificate. Let me copy the path, open SSL again. I need to change this path again, and let's do hyphen text. So this certificate will have the TLS properties, and if we see this section here, we can see that this certificate is the TLS certificate, basically where we have two kind of profiles. So when we are issuing up the certificate, we have two kind of profile, and I can show you that part. Like if I go to register enroll.sh, and the point where we are actually generating up the certificate, let's go to this generate peer certificate function, and here you can see that first in this function, first we are generating up the certificate for the signing profile, like for the signing certificate using this sign profile. So this will generate up the signing certificate, and similarly we are again running the similar command here, and at this time we are passing up the TLS profile. So using these profiles, our certificate will be issued, one for signing and another one for the TLS. And I think that part we already saw, like that is present in this cert signing config file, where we have two profile, like the signing profile and the TLS profile. Okay, so now our network is running fine, and now let's try to deploy the chain code as well and see if that part is running fine or not. So I can do network deploy, and basically here I have to change the channel as my channel, and let's give the chain code name as my CC. So let me just collapse this. So we are basically deploying of the chain code. This is the CCN, which is the chain code name, then -C for the channel, and this is the location where our chain code is present, and the chain code language is Go. So let's run this command, and this should install the chain code on both the peers. So first it is basically rendering up all the dependencies, and then it will package the chain code, it will install the chain code, and after that it will approve and commit the chain code. So we can see that the chain code is packaged successfully, and now it is trying to install the chain code. So we can see that this command peer lifecycle chain code installed, and it will try to install the chain code first on peer 0 of org1. So here we can see that the chain code installed for peer 0 of org1, and then it will similarly install the chain code on peer 0 of org2. So here we can see that the chain code was installed on peer 0 of org2, and after that it will go for the approval. So basically it did the approval for the peer 0 of org1, and similarly there will be approval for peer 0 of org2, and after that there will be the chain code commit. So we can see that the chain code was committed successfully on this channel, and our chain code was installed successfully. And if I do docker ps, we should see one more container, like, or two containers. So these are the chain code containers. You can see that this container just got up 17 seconds above, and we can see that this is the chain code container. This is the running the chain code command. So we generate the admin certificate as well for both peer organizations. So you can see we have the users as admin@org1.example.com, and similarly for the second organization, which is org2, we will be having order admin@org2.example.com. So we have two admins, and now let's try to send some transaction using the org1 admin. So for this, what I'll do, I'll quickly use, there is a script which is source dot basically set envvar.sh, and using this script you can basically start using of the certificates. So basically it will set up some environment variables, all it will do. So what I'll do, I'll just simply source that script. Okay, now it is source, and now I can just simply run this, execute this function, which is set globals, and I'll pass the value as 1. So when I'll pass the value as 1, it will basically set all these as the environment variable. Let me just use the set global 1. So I have used the set global as 1, and now if I do echo on core local peer MSP ID, we can see that the value is org1 MSP. And how this came? This came using this particular piece of code got executed when I did set global 1. And if I do set global 2, then it will set the variables for the org pointing to org2. We have to also set one property. I'll set it, which is the CFG path that I have done. And now I can simply do peer channel list. So this will basically show me all the peers, all the channels that are there in the particular network, or the basically the peer 0 of org1 is has joined. So we can see that it gave us this channel, which is my channel. Okay, so now let's try to invoke the chain code, and let me put up the command here. So we are invoking the chain code, and we can see that the channel name is my channel and the chain code name is mycc, and we are passing the TLS certificate for the peers, like both the peers. So here you can see that we are passing the TLS certificate for the first peer, and then again we are passing the TLS certificate for the another peer. And when we are invoking the chain code, we are calling the init ledger function, which is there in the chain code, which is going to initialize the ledger with some data. So let's try to send this transaction. So we can see we successfully invoked the chain code and we got the result as status 200. And now let's try to query the chain code. Let me clear up the terminal. So now let's try to query the chain code. Let me put up the command here. And we are again going to query on the my channel, and the chain code name is mycc, and the function that we are going to call from the chain code is get all assets. So let's hit enter, and this should show us some data like that we wrote in the invoke command. So let's see. Yeah, so we can see we got some of the data which was written when we invoke the chain code. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to show in this video, like how we can use the third-party CAs to run the Fabric network. And this CA can be any kind of CA, like the CFSSL CA, but in your case, you can use any kind of CA and issue up the certificates, and then you can use those certificates in your network. And yeah, we just saw that how we can integrate external certificate authorities with the Fabric CA, and we can bootstrap the entire network using those certificates like the signing and the TLS certificate, and also can run the transactions on the network. So this is what I wanted to cover in this video. Hope you like this video, and if you did like this video, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.